Technology, everything for the man.
All right, welcome to Everything for the Man. This is a quick look at the new iPad. Yep, it's not called the iPad 3, it's called the new iPad. This is a quick look that I shot in the hands-on area here in San Francisco after the announcement of the new iPad. This here is the iPhoto photo journal. So you basically take an album full of photos and you create an automatic journal of those photos. You can click on the photos and show them full screen, obviously. But back in the journal, you can place dates, you can place maps, you can place a whole stack of content within the journal. It's very much like the Facebook timeline, in fact. And then you can share that journal as well across different media. Facebook, you can link to it through iTunes, a whole stack of different things. And you can see here, it just lays it out, and you can manipulate where the photos are, how big they are, and it actually gets that temperature on the screen there from looking at the geolocation of the photos and the date. Fantastic stuff. This is probably the most stunning thing you'll see on the new iPad. It's a game called Gamblers Air Supremacy. And let me tell you, this takes absolutely every core of the quad-core graphics processor in the new iPad, and it puts it to best use. This is essentially a flight sim game, controlled using things like the accelerometer and gyro in the device. Just stunning graphics. One of the things to look at when you see this in real life, it won't show here, to be honest, in a YouTube video, but it's the heat coming off the plane at the back and the way that interacts with the graphics on the screen. For them to be able to put a heat trail into a plane like this in the graphics is unbelievable. Now, I'm just holding this thing up, very, very quickly in a very cramped space. I'm trying to learn how to fly it, but the graphics there, the size of the world that it's generating, and even more so when you run this in a city-style location, are pretty amazing. You can see there the controls are just unbelievably simple to use in terms of just twisting the iPad around, but it's one of the key games that'll be released at the end of the month. This is from the big company Autodesk, who made a very good point of explaining that essentially that they've got more customers now because of the iPad than they ever did with their AutoCAD kind of software, but obviously they used to make a lot more money out of those kind of softwares. This is called Sketchbook Ink. Now, it's a little bit hard to use, actually. I chose on the left-hand side there a different brush, which actually is a very light touch brush. But once you get to use it, you realise that it has a very good recognition of not pressure, but certainly of a brush stroke, and a whole stack of different brushes there. And they did a live painting demonstration at the launch there from the Autodesk people. But a really good example of using the graphics power again, which is obviously a key feature of the new iPad. Quickly, I put my iPad on the right there. The iPad, that's a 3G version next to the new iPad. Very hard to tell the difference. The camera hole is tiny bit bigger, but apart from that, they look almost identical. Now, this is a look at iPhoto again, going back into iPhoto and some of the editing effects. So, entering into an album, choosing a photo, and then there's just some unbelievably simple but powerful features in terms of enhancements. There is an auto enhancement, but you click, hold your finger, and you'll get a four-way arrow menu. So if you click and hold in the sky here, you'll get an arrow up and down for sharpness and for color saturation, and an arrow left and right for blue sky. So you actually drag your finger left, as I've done here, and you'll actually deepen the color of just the sky. So it's using the power of the processor to determine what's in the photo. It's unbelievable. You can even, and I haven't videoed this, but you can even, in a gallery, you can ask iPhoto to show you, just by simply double tapping on a photo, it'll show you all similar photos. So again, this is a beach photo, and I've chosen here to saturate or reduce the saturation of the photo, as well as just different enhancements just through that simple four-way menu, which I think people will really enjoy when they get hands-on with it. These are the effects. A great little sort of swatch pad you'd be used to when you're buying paint, but those effects coming out of the bar there. Very useful, very easy to do. There's a lot of effects. In terms of grayscale, you've got different variations of grayscale, so it's not just as simple as just going grey. A whole stack of effects. These are brushes, and there's some really smart stuff about the brushes. You can see here I'm just rubbing the face of the girl in this photo, which is perhaps sharpening the photo. But you can actually put edge detection on. so that even though you may be wanting to enhance a small part of the photo, you can, your big fat finger doesn't ruin that. You can, as they showed to me in a demo, you could, straighten, enhance a very small part of the photo using the edge detection. That's another feature that people will get an absolutely huge use out of. And there's a simple tap to return to your original photo. There's an automatic horizon leveler. Just some amazingly simple features that have been put into iPhoto, but my gosh, it's a powerful piece of software that is taking every advantage of this new iPad screen, the Retina screen. I've got to tell you, when you see them side by side, you realise you can't go back. So if you've got an iPad 2, don't look at an iPad third generation. Do not look at the new iPad if you've got an iPad 2. You drive yourself cuckoo because you really want one. Another example here of a very, there's a lot of depth of field in this photo, so I chose to enhance or sharpen different elements of the photo just to show off a few more of those features. But by no means have I encapsulated everything here in the new iPad. There's a lot to see. Essentially what you need to know is it looks the same, but it's much more powerful. Available $539, the cheapest version, so $40 cheaper than the cheapest version was before, up to $899, $100 cheaper than what was the most expensive before. And most importantly, the iPad 2, as predicted on EFTM, the iPad 2 will still be on sale at $429. So $429 for an Apple iPad is a stunning price, and the iPad 2 we know is a great device. Going to be very tough for the Android tablets to challenge, and they'll have to reduce their price. There's the press pack at the Apple event here in San Francisco. I travelled to San Francisco as a guest of Apple, and we bring you all the news here at EFTM, and our first look at the new iPad.
Technology, everything.